Imagine how cool it is being an elite American athlete. You grow up with all the privileges of living in the United States. But one of your parents is also a citizen of a communist country, a country that disappears and tortures political prisoners and oppresses Christians and sends hundreds of thousands of Uyghur Muslims to re-education camps. And then imagine that when it comes time to decide which country you'll represent at the Olympics, you choose the communists because they pay you off. Meet Eileen Gu, the San Francisco native competing for China for the second year in a row at the Olympics. Now, of course, the same U.S. media that pretends to care about human rights of illegal aliens in the United States thinks this is all wonderful. Time magazine even put her on the cover, the freestyle skier taking the world by storm. Now, being exceptionally diplomatic, VP Vance weighed in today.
I certainly think that somebody who grew up in the United States of America, who benefited from our education system, from the freedoms and liberties that make this country a great place, I would hope that they want to compete with the United States of America. So I'm going to root for American athletes. And I think part of that is people who identify themselves as Americans. That's who I'm rooting for this Olympics.
Well, contrast Gu's ingratitude with the patriotism that is still on display in Milan, such as bobsledder Ilana Taylor, the mom of two, just won the gold for the United States, and her reaction is everything you'd hope for in an Olympic athlete.
There were so many moments I thought it wasn't possible, and I had some really good people in my corner who believed in me, and people from all over the world reaching out and telling me their stories and how they have kids with Down syndrome or they have deaf kids and how they believed in me too, and it's just been incredible the entire time. And they've been encouraging me, and they told me, like, it doesn't even matter if I win. I've done so much for the communities, and I'm so excited to represent them. I'm so excited to represent my country and so excited to have a gold medal finally. It took long enough.
Wow, that is perseverance. Here to react is Enes Kanter Freedom, former NBA player, human rights activist, and New York Times bestseller. And as Eileen Gu chose to represent China instead of where she grew up, what's your message to her tonight?
Thank you for having me, Laura. I'm just going to say she's a traitor. You know, she was born in America. She raised in America, lives in America, and choose to compete against her own country for literally the worst human rights, abuser on the planet, China. She built her fame in a free country and then choose to represent an authoritarian regime, which, while chasing endorsement deals, linked by watching dog groups and mass detention and forced labor camps, she chose to play for a country literally responsible for the deaths of tens of millions of his own people and literally running a concentration camp while we are talking. And instead of the country where she was born and given the opportunity. So you don't just get to enjoy freedom of U.S. as citizenship while acting literally a global PR asset for the Chinese Communist Party. So she should definitely, pay for the consequences.
And of course, none of the media ask her about Jimmy Lai, who was just sentenced to essentially a death sentence for speaking his mind, being a real human rights activist, also happened to be a really successful businessman. They're just putting him in jail and killing him. You never see him again. So no questions about that. No questions about human rights in China. But Time Magazine did ask Gu about some of this, and she said it's not her place to comment. I'm not an expert on this. I haven't done the research. I don't think it's my business. I'm not going to make big claims on my social media. I'm just more of a skeptic when it comes to data in general. So when Time Magazine does raise this issue, and again in passing, because they have to, she's like, "Well, I'm not an expert in that." What? What does that mean?
Do you remember literally around 2019 when the reporter asked LeBron James, what do you think about what Daryl Morey tweeted about what's happening in Hong Kong? And he said, I'm not educated enough. We should do our more research. I feel like it's like a play. They all want to, whenever their human rights, issues are raised up about China, they all stop talking about it. But when it comes to America...
Feign ignorance.
Exactly.
Well, the Wall Street Journal, Enes, also said that the Beijing Municipal Sports Bureau was set to pay Gu and another athlete a combined $6.6 million in 2025. How much would you need to get paid by China, Enes, to represent them, if they allowed you to?
I think she's making, I believe, around $23 million a year. When I look at my career, I
Yeah, that's from
love that
endorsements,
picture.
I think. I'm not sure
No,
that's
just
not from
endorsements.
China, but yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, look, she makes a lot of money. I mean, people can make money all different ways. I get that. But again, this is not just like you're representing, Slovenia. You're representing China. Okay, this is the biggest adversary to the United States, biggest human rights abuser on the planet. And meanwhile, the U.S. media just spent like several weeks covering human rights abuses they claim in Minnesota. But no one's pushing her when she gets up in those microphones. No one's pushing her on the human rights abuses in the country she chose to represent. And it's great to see you tonight. Thank you so much.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.